All right, I hope that angle is decent and you can kind of see a little what's going on here. We'll see. All right, so check this out. Regarding technique when drumming, others may have different opinions. You can find things online that may say something different than what I say. But here's what I do and how I do it at this stage of my drumming career. I mainly grip the stick, personally, between my thumb and index finger. On both hands, same way. Should match grip, meaning they're exactly the same, they match each other, as much as possible. Alright, from there, my stick goes down the middle of my palm, not out the side, but down the middle of my palm like this. So I turn the stick with my palm facing straight down towards the ground once I actually have it in position. My palm is down. Sometimes I have it a little bit angled, mostly, but not with the thumb on top. Palm straight down, facing the floor. The back of the stick is going down the middle of my palm. If I turn my hand around, you couldn't even see it. If I did this, you could see it coming out the side. Not what I want. Right down the middle. Okay, from there, I take the third, fourth, and fifth finger, middle, ring, pinky, and just touch kind of the tips of them onto the stick. All this is done fairly gently. If you look, it's still coming down the middle of my palm like that. Meaning that, like, it's the middle of my arm. It's just, the stick is becoming an extension of my arm. This way, my arm reaches out, but the stick's on the side. For drum set playing, it's doable, but not my favorite position. I do some things that way once in a while. Looks okay for a hi-hat, but still not the best. This will help you in the long run, okay? When I flip over and play ride cymbal or some other stuff, sometimes I put thumb on top or do some other things, but most 90% of the time I'm playing like this. All right, palms down, stick down the middle of my hand. Okay, that's first step. Second, that being said, there should be space. You may be able to see some space, or you should be able to see space right here where my thumb and index finger are touching the stick. You can see all the way through to the closet behind me. All right, it's not squeezed like this where you see nothing. There's a gap. The reason for that, there's a gap there. You can see all the way through that. The reason for that is because, and my fingers are still touching in the back, including the pinky. It's touching the stick. If you look, when I pull the stick up, I pull my palm up. The back of the stick comes off of my palm. Okay, it's not touching my palm. When I go down, stick is now touching my palm, maybe a little bit. A lot of times it's not even touching my palm. I have it like that. But you notice that my fingers kind of open and close with the stick, kind of like this. So when I go back, fingers get pushed out, go down, fingers come in. I'm not throwing my fingers hard, like a very hard, stiff motion where I'm like purposely like pushing them out. When I pull the stick back, the tip of the stick goes up or towards me, and the bottom of the stick goes out this way. If I have enough loose grip, and I'm holding it right here with these two fingers, okay, like that, where the stick can go like that. So when I pull back of the stick goes out because the tip of the stick's coming towards me. And then all it's doing is pushing my fingers out. I'll even have my students walk over and see how loose I'm holding it, and they just go like this. I say, push up, or push this up and see what happens. They go like that, right? They push it up. What happens? Pushes my fingers out. My fingers just ride along with the stick. So when they come down, they close. When they come up, they do this. And what you're looking for is to feel the stick rebound. Okay, so what you want to do is hit practice pad, drum, cymbal, etc. But practice pad is probably a great place to start feeling this. One of the best places. You hit your practice pad and actually take these fingers off for a moment and just feel the stick. So what you want to do is it's like a throwing motion. You're throwing a ball with your left or right hand, doesn't matter. Both. Even if you're not ambidextrous, you need to practice that motion with both hands. Anyways, take the stick, hold it back, pull your wrist back, and then throw it down. Again, I'm not gripping it hard here at all. If I'm gripping it hard here, the stick cannot move. And that's not good. That means I have to use my wrist for everything and I'm going to get tired. That's what we want to avoid. We want to loosen up. This way my wrist will move, but the stick will move by itself even more. It has room to just be nice and loose. I'm going to throw that stick down and hit the drum. to practice, take these fingers off and watch when I throw it down, my palm goes straight down. Again, stick going down the middle of my palm. It should hit the drum and bounce back on its own if I keep my wrist down. Okay, these fingers aren't even touching. It's just being held here. Again, there's still a space. That means I'm not gripping it like that, really tight, like that. This finger is not wrapped around the bottom, my index finger. It's like that. Okay, mainly, kind of like that. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of fingertips happening here. You might feel like you're going to drop the stick at first. It's that loose, but you just got to get used to it. Hit that pad, feel the stick come back up. When it comes back up, in this instance for this practice, I'm not letting my wrist go back up with it. I'm just letting the stick pop up on its own, and that's it. See how my wrist stayed down? My wrist didn't come up like that. My wrist didn't come up like that. Just stayed down. The stick popped up. Same thing in the left. Practice the exact same thing with both hands. Okay, see how my wrist stayed down? It's straight. It didn't do this. I didn't pull it up. The fingers may have come out, or I should have them for this, possibly off the stick. Flat wrist, stick is now in the air. I mean, when I say flat, it's straight. It's just a continuation of my arm. It's not bending. It's not making a right angle. Okay, a lot of people are playing, they're making right angles. You see a lot of people playing hi-hat, whatever it is, doing fills, and they're playing, their wrists are locked in place like this. Can't have that. Relax your wrists, relax your grip. There should be movement back here. Sticks being held here, these fingers need to touch. That's very important, but they can't squeeze. They need to be allowing for movement. You can practice also, you'll know if you're doing it right too, if you can hear this sound of the stick smacking your palm. What am I doing? This. Pulling my wrist back, snapping the stick into my palm. But I'm not jamming my fingers, just letting them ride on the stick. Hope that's helpful.